Pobili su sve one ljude do kojih su došli. A došli su naravno pretjerano do staraca, do žena i tako dalje. Svjedočanstva su groblja, velika groblja oko Srebrenice, po selima. Ali bio je veliki pritisak srpskog naroda na ovom području i naravno u Republici Srpskoj da srpska vojska odgovori na te napade, da preduzme ofanzivne mjere, da oslobodi.
A camera is there to record the dramatic arrival in Srebrenica of UN commander General Philippe Morillon and his promise of rescue.
You are now under the protection of the UN forces.
Jesam bila u Srebrenici. I kad je rekao da je zaštićena zona, da nama neće ništa faliti, da se budemo u bezbednosti, da skromno spavam, pa jesam bila u Srebrenici, gledala ja Marijuna. Jesam ja bila i moja djeca i moj čovjek, svi bili smo mi u Srebrenici. Da je zaštićena zona, da nam neće ništa, mislim, smetati, pa mi bili.
In creating the safe area in April 1993, the UN Security Council in New York is responding to the disturbing images coming from the camcorders in the besieged town.
These people in New York reacted to appalling stories of tragedy unfolding before their eyes on television, and they naturally felt they had to do something. And they produced high-sounding resolutions, which we on the ground did not have the ability to execute.
When Dutch UN peacekeepers arrive in January 1995 to watch over the safe area, Warrant Officer Wim Dijkma's camera records their daily life. He is also to record their part in the tragedy of Srebrenica.
We as Dutch came from a quite rich country, not used to war. If you are there, you realize that you don't know the feelings of people who had war for several years. Sometimes I had a feeling I understood the words they said, but I didn't understand the feelings.
As they assemble in their base at Potachari, an old factory just 3 miles north of the town, the new Dutch battalion and their commander, Colonel Ton Karamans, face a mountain of problems.
UN was there to keep peace, but not to enforce it. UN did not have enough equipment or troop strength to enforce anything on any of the warring parties.
In the spring of 1995, the Serbs tighten their stranglehold, cutting off convoys to the safe area. Soon, the Dutch are starved of personnel, ammunition, fresh food and fuel. With most of their vehicles stranded, they're reduced to foot patrols. Hasan Nuhanovic gets a job as an interpreter for the beleaguered Dutch battalion.
From my conversations with the Dutch soldiers, they were just saying, we want to go home, we don't want to stay here, it's not our war, I don't see any sense of staying here.
In early July 1995, Wim Dijkma's camera records the refugees besieged in Srebrenica by the surrounding Bosnian Serb army. The final act in their tragedy is about to begin. On July 6th, Saliha Osmanovic's son, Edin, is killed by a Serb shell which lands near the school in Srebrenica.
Tad nisam mogla da zamislim da ćemo da ostane u kazanima u Srebrenici, da ga više nikad.
Her personal anguish is a prologue to the nightmare which is to engulf Srebrenica over the next 9 days.
I personally never expected General Mladic to overrun the enclave because the world was watching.
It was first a little bit foggy. And after the fog went away, the shelling started over again. After a while, we saw a Serb tank drive towards the enclave. After that, the Serb soldiers came to the observation post. So they entered the enclave. You can only guess what's going to happen to you. You don't know for sure. And after a while, they get more aggressive, starting searching for weapons, all kinds of stuff. At that time, the commander of the Bosnian Serbian troops told our commander he didn't control his men anymore, and he asked us to leave.
That was the most important defensive position, because after that hill, you just walk down the slope to the town. So after that moment, people were very worried that the Serbs could just come down the hill to the town. There was no way to stop them.
And at that moment, they threw a hand grenade in the APC. The APC gunner was wounded on his head and fell in the APC. So it was a panic situation, doing everything we can to save our comrade's life and hoping the best of it.
We always thought the Serbs would do that, but in my mind, never occurred that the Muslims would kill one of us. So that was quite a shock for us, and I know it's wrong, and everybody knows it's wrong, but you blame a big part of the population for it.
Really, an open attack at UN was telling the people that if the UN cannot defend its own observation post, how can it defend the people?
The Muslim got a note and he wrote down 30 Dutch and 30,000 Muslims. He said, as long as the 30 Dutch